Due to copyright concerns, please enjoy a reenactment for a snippet from the trailer for the film The Batman.
Ominous music playing. Fear is a tool. And when the light hits that sky, it's not just a call. It's a warning.
This has been a reenactment of a snippet from the trailer, The Batman.
Don't look now! Vengeance is coming!
Oh, God.
Oh, I feel so silly doing that. Anyway, yeah, hopefully you enjoyed that. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Forever Fangirls podcast, where age is nothing but a number in life and in fandoms. I'm Sheila Amato, and you can find me and my wife on our website at foreverfangirls.com.
And I am Kimberly Amato, and you can also find us on our socials, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at ForeverFanPod. Same handle on all three.
And we are your hosts, so we're glad you can join us.
So on today's show, we are going to be doing our normal little format. I know we didn't do it the previous episode, so we're returning to that after the rather emotionally charged one we did last time. But today we're going to be reviewing the 3-hour long
This is an emotionally charged one, too.
The Batman. 3 hours.
As always, spoilers are ahead. So if you haven't seen the 3-hour Batman in theaters or streaming,
we're just going to refer to it as that, the 3-hour Batman.
Please be aware that yes, I can't even think.
Maybe it's because we spent 3 hours on the couch.
I know, right? But yes, please be aware that if you continue listening past the banter, you will get spoiled. So pause us, watch the film, and then come back to listen to our discussion. So, things are opening back up again.
Yeah. I mean, traveling's open. We're going to be going to some conventions.
Yes. And for those who are attending the Erper Homestead Convention, otherwise known as ACON.
Oh, I forgot to totally loop my music. It's been a day. Let me just fix that. I'm trying something new, and I've been playing with things. And there you go, banter music back on.
Are you sure?
It is. I've been trying some new tinkering in the system, so I kind of messed that up.
You know, you usually try to tinker before we're live.
Yeah. You know, I was focused on the fact that I added all these new sound effects at the end.
Anyhow. I was talking about ACON.
Yes, we are going to ACON in Toronto.
Toronto.
I can't. It's like saying New Orleans and Nolans, and I can't.
Anyway, it is going to be in August, and we hope to see you there.
This August, in 2020, in case you are listening to this any other time.
Yes. So, with that, let's...
Let me stop the banter music that I just started.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Oh man.
Now that the banter music is ended, Kimberly can now read the summary from Google.
All right, so here's going to be the summary from Google. And back by popular demand, a.k.a. By Marissa Ayr on Twitter. Batman ventures into Gotham City's underworld when a sadistic killer leaves behind a trail of cryptic clues. As the evidence begins to lead closer to home and the scare of the perpetrator's plans become clear, he must forge new relationships, unmask the culprit, and bring justice to the abuse of power and corruption that has long plagued the metropolis. Yay!
That is just such an odd juxtaposition. We're talking about Batman, and you're doing it in an Elmo voice. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Listen.
All right, someone asked for it.
Okay, fine. Go ahead and talk about the good.
The trailer looked cool.
That's it.
The trailer was the music. I liked that they did use a Nirvana song, similar to Black Widow, where they kind of tweaked it and changed it and made it more grungy and harder. I liked that. That's actually what made me want to see it. That's what made it look interesting.
Yes, I remember you showing it to me, and I'm like, "Ooh, this looks really cool."
Yeah. I mean, the visuals,
The action sequences.
the action sequences were great. You know, the use of his tools. You know, the bat gadgets.
Yeah, I really like the fact that they introduced like that new tech gear where you had a camera as a contact lens.
Yeah.
That was quite phenomenal.
There was
of course,
a lot
I was like going, "Oh,
Yeah, you've never worn contacts.
no."
I mean, I've seen that in other films as well, but I like how he used it. I like how they've incorporated different things into it. The way the Batman was spying on things, it was more clear. You know, there was it leaned a little more into the technological side of things as opposed to, you know, because we can do it now.
Yeah.
A little differently than, you know, in the 90s and even in the early noughts. So it looked more intriguing.
The other thing that you mentioned that was sticking in my brain is that, you know, you actually said that you liked the fact that he's still trying to get used to his gear, you know, speaking of his tech gear.
Yeah.
There was one action sequence where, you know, he's flying and
Are you talking about the one where he jumps off the building?
he jumps off the building.
And he looked hesitant to do it initially.
Right. 'Cause, and I thought that was really cool. It showed the human side, right? That vengeance does have
Fear.
So then he landed, and he didn't land like, you know, gracefully on his feet. He actually crashed.
Yeah. He crashed, I think, into the top of a truck, right? He tried to land on it and he like hit it funny and then he hit like a lamppost, which first of all, I kept looking at that going, dude is dead.
Well, bat armor.
Yeah, but you know what's funny is when he popped out into the suit though, I went, it's Batman the Bubble Boy.
Ay, ay, ay.
No, it was, I also liked that they included that. That was a different, like he had a flight suit instead of him just dropping and, you know, using the cape and the grappling hooks and all that. I liked that they actually incorporated something like that into the suit. But I did giggle at first because of the way it came out and the way it popped up. It sounded like it was inflating bubbles. It's just...
It's not Kite Man.
See, that's a funny one. That's good.
Anyway.
Oh, darn, I don't have a laugh track for that. Anyway.
You know.
I know.
Anyway. Okay, so at least for me, when the Batman movies first came out, you know, you're always judging the person behind the mask. By
how they wear it, how they hold it.
Right. And also that jawline, right? The jawline is part of it. And I think Robert Pattinson in this case was
He's got a perfect jawline for it.
Yeah.
You know what? Even and give him credit because he wears the costume well. Like and I can only compare it to, and I know it's a completely different company and entity, but if you go back to Star Wars Episode 3, The Return of the Sith, when Hayden Christensen puts on the Darth Vader outfit, he doesn't look menacing or overwhelming or huge. He looks like a kid in a costume for Halloween. It's physically, his stature is different. That is nothing against Hayden Christensen. It's just his stature is different than this buildup we had of the 4, 5, and 6 films. But so when you see that, and then you see superhero films, you want to see the character, you know, Thor is Thor.
Right.
Wonder Woman is Wonder Woman. There's a way that they embody the outfit and the way they walk and the way they carry themselves, but also in the physical. So you have to give credit to Pattinson here for building himself up he can't change his height, but, you know, he carries himself the way Batman should, or the way we are accustomed to seeing and expect based on comics and movies and everything else, how Batman kind of just like walks into a place and it's like, I'm here.
Yeah, he's a bad...
I was late.
You really are rusty at this.
Oh boy. I should preface that I haven't slept well in like a week.
I know.
But yeah, you know, but seriously, he really did embody what we do expect coming onto the screen. It's like he rolled out of a comic onto screen when he was in costume.
Which was great.
Yeah.
Talking about, you know, in the suit, I thought Catwoman, as once she's in the suit and her fighting skills, the way they choreographed her scenes, I thought it was just very cool the way, you know, she just fluidly did all of her fighting.
She was very quote unquote cat-like.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that to me,
at least they played on that aspect of the character.
Yeah.
It was reminiscent of, Michelle Pfeiffer in her version of Catwoman. How, again, think of the times, couldn't do the special effects and all that stuff, and we didn't have the technology or the safety harnesses that we have now. But they tried to incorporate it physically as much as, if you looked at this, it didn't look like CGI. Whereas if you look at the Catwoman film, it's CGI climbing all over the walls, and you can tell it's CGI.
Right.
And it's not CGI that you can look back on and be like, oh, okay, it was of the time, but it's a good film. It's CGI that makes it worse.
Right. Because you can't unsee it.
Exactly. And the way they used Catwoman in this film, it was more practical. The movements were there. They used her, Kravitz's abilities masterfully in what she could do, and then use the camera angles to make it even better. So that was well done. Again, the fight scenes and the chase scene, even although not as good as Dark Knight.
Oh, with the penguin, you mean?
Yeah, that was a cool scene as well. Especially some of it, I was like, really? And I will say, honestly, I was kind of underwhelmed by the Batmobile. It had like the great revving for like the entry. I mean, that was brilliant. The revving of the engine, like it's coming in.
Well, yeah.
Then it looks like a Camaro to me.
Because it was one, and he was still building it up.
After the Batmobiles I've seen, you have a guy that steps into the suit and actually like carries himself like Batman. And then you give me it's like Transformers, okay? Bumblebee is a freaking Beetle. He is not a Camaro. The whole point of Bumblebee being bigger and larger than life was that he was a Beetle.
You know what? Different show.
I know. But that was my only gripe, considering the whole special effects and the new stuff. That was my biggest gripe of his tools.
Okay.
I do love that he rode a motorcycle.
Yes.
And it wasn't the bat cycle. That was, if you're going to do a different take on it, either all or one. You can't show a Batmobile that's not completely done, and you shouldn't show a motorcycle that's halfway. They showed a motorcycle being normal. Of course, riding in the rain, I was cringing at that. Because you and I got our licenses in the rain. Yeah.
Well, but I think it's really cool that they did have that scene. The two of them, riding off and then diverging paths. It was just, and yes, you called it. I have to say,
the minute they both got on the bikes, I'm like, they're going to get to a point and they're going to split.
Yep.
Because their paths diverge. Don't you get it? Their paths diverge. But everybody,
it's a good visual. Okay.
For those who don't know their characters, yes. For those of us that do, it's like, was that really necessary? She could have just left and he could have gone on his merry way. They didn't have to show them slinking through traffic and driving around and adding more to the runtime and then splitting.
Well, you know what? I like the visual.
And that's fine. I mean, I understand why they did it. At least the point will get across. It's not like they threw something in that doesn't make sense.
Right.
Or did they?
So the only other good that I can think of is the parallel here with the mayor's son, right after the mayor was murdered. The son was grieving his father's death, and it parallels Batman's story, right? His parents died when he was young, and so that scene you could almost feel that the pain coming back to him as he's watching this.
That was the one time those long zoom in shots
worked
because the emotion of the boy looking at Batman. And again, at this point in the film, we are supposed to believe that Batman is this evil vigilante who doesn't care about humanity, even though he saves them. We're going to talk more about that later.
Put a pin in it.
But the boy looks at him, and here's this larger than life creature, and the slow zoom in of him, and then into the eyes of Pattinson. It kind of shows like the young boy to the adult. And that was an excellent cut, an excellent, like very well done. I really liked that parallel.
Yeah.
Was it obvious? Of course. But if this is how they're going to do it, at least in this case, it really worked. And it was an extremely powerful few minutes.
Yeah. Because then it also fuels the story to show why he's so angry, right? Throughout the film.
But isn't Batman always angry? I know why he's angry, but let's be honest. Batman in general, every film we have ever seen of Batman, he is always angry.
I understand that.
Batman is not a guy that sits there and goes and plays with unicorns. He's the guy that goes and he beats up people.
I'm just saying it just adds to that story. It adds texture.
Okay, it adds depth. We'll give it that.
Okay, so themes. There's really only one theme that I can really point to, and that is vengeance for vengeance sake will make you lose your humanity.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's an excellent point and an interesting theme, because if somebody hurts you, human nature dictates you want to lash out, right? You don't know how, but you want to lash out. And no matter how you lash out, it's not going to fill that void or fix that pain you feel or make you feel better. In some cases, it might actually make you feel worse. Mm-hmm. So I like the idea of it.
Well, I mean, towards the end, they're showing him realizing that he can't be just vengeance.
Let's just put a pin in that.
So I can tell you really want to go into the bad here.
No, I just want to move the conversation along.
Okay. You don't want this to be a 3-hour podcast.
No.
Okay. So
like Gilligan's Island, it's a 3-hour tour.
All right. So let us go ahead and dive into the bad then.
3-hour tour. 3 hours. I remember at one point in the film, and I don't know if you have this in here actually, at one point in the film, you and I literally looked at each other and we were like, oh, this is like the climactic scene. Why did everybody say it was so long? It's moving along well. The story was going well. And oh my God, we're reaching that point already. It can't be what are people talking about? It's so long. And then I said, you know what? Let's hit the bathroom, because we watched it on HBO and we paused it and it wasn't even a third of the way through.
Yeah. I remember thinking, oh boy.
Yeah. We were like, wait a minute. We're already at like a climactic scene.
Yeah.
And it's not even, maybe it was like, we think we still had like an hour and 30 minutes left, or an hour and 40. So maybe it was halfway through.
It was still like, I did not expect to still have that much more time.
I just remember looking at the bar and like half of it is red and we're like, whoa, how much more can you do here?
Yeah.
I literally at a certain point just started going, that scene wasn't necessary. That camera angle wasn't necessary. And in a sense of the long, brooding shots.
Yeah. Maybe like once or twice, that would be fine.
It became so redundant that I was like, you are now padding your runtime. At a certain point, like with the mayor's son, that worked so well. And then the effect completely fell apart because you kept using it over and over and over. And I'm sorry, I'm really tired of seeing Rob Pattinson look broody into the camera like poor pitiful me, Edward Cullen.
Although I did like Twilight.
But truthfully, do you agree with that? Like it just started seeming after a while that he was just staring, brooding into the camera, not saying anything, not doing anything.
Yeah. I mean, there is a time and place for looking longingly into the camera or whatever it was that he was doing. But in your words, there could have been judicious editing that could have happened. And I think that the film then would have been tighter, and I think it would have flowed more easily anyway. It just felt very long. The only thing I can really compare it to is Avengers, for example.
Which one?
Endgame.
Okay.
Or Infinity War. Either one of the two. They were almost 3 hours long, or at 3 hours. But it didn't feel like 3 hours.
Yeah.
This felt like more than 3 hours to me.
I got to a point where I literally turned to you and said, we could legitimately remove a good hour of this film and it would be an amazing Batman movie. And instead, I started watching it and I was just like, oh my God, get to the damn point.
Yeah.
Again, we got halfway through and we were like, oh my God, why did everybody think it was so long? And now we know why.
Because it was. Okay, so enough about the length.
Well, I actually think one final point on the length. You have Zoe Kravitz playing Catwoman. So underused, barely any story development. You could have had anyone playing that character. You did not give her all of this runtime No, none, zip, zero development into their relationship. 1 minute they hate each other, the next minute they're kissing in an abandoned area. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
They literally could have cut Catwoman out completely in order to develop the Batman the way they wanted to, and then give Zoe Kravitz and Catwoman justice and actually do a proper story in the sequel. This was absolutely unnecessary. That could have been your entire hour right there.
Well, maybe.
But at least 45 minutes could have been gone if you cut all of Catwoman to use at a later date.
Yeah. Speaking of Catwoman, that mask was not a mask at all. And maybe it's because I'm used to the previous Catwoman.
If it was a beginning of Catwoman, or
maybe it is,
but you know what? If it is, what? I mean, I get the leather, everything, the pants, everything else works perfectly, and then you put on this.
I don't know, half-torn ski mask.
I mean, they could have literally just given her something for her eyes, like
like how Robin has.
What is it in New Orleans? What's the Mardi Gras mask? You could have given anything that she could have gotten at any store, anywhere, and instead you cut a ski mask.
And because it was so flimsy across her nose, anybody could have pulled that off and see who she is.
Yeah.
It just wasn't. It wasn't a good mask.
No. And that's why I say even like a Mardi Gras mask just for the eyes, like a Robin or any of the superheroes that use just the eyes, that would have been fine as a beginning step. Because if this is supposed to be the beginning of Catwoman, that's fine. That would have gone perfectly with the outfit and could have worn a wig, could have done anything else to hide who she is from real life, that type thing. And instead they chose this, and it just
didn't work.
I love Catwoman, and this is just no.
Yeah. I actually expected to see a lot more of her in this film.
Thank you. The way it was built,
there. Yeah,
it was like going to be this great story. And I wanted development like we got with Michelle Pfeiffer's character eons ago when Dinosaurs Walked the Earth and the movie came out. But what?
We're not that old.
The point is that Catwoman got development. Eartha Kitt got development.
Yeah. Maybe it's just DC. I don't know. But that's why I want to see Justice League.
That's what we have to watch it to see how they handle Wonder Woman.
Yeah. So, okay. Anything else?
The whiny Batman.
Yeah, you said that more than once.
Saving the world before bedtime, but it takes a villain saying I'm vengeance to make him see that he needs to be hope for the people, but yet he's been saving people from the beginning. If this is supposed to be an early Batman, then it should be a younger actor playing it. Number one. If it is supposed to be I don't even mind, I liked the long-haired Batman. I'm like, oh, okay. It's a grungier look. I liked that. What I didn't like was the whininess, the drawn-out broodiness. I get it. Batman's a dark guy. This is not something the audience doesn't know. To overwhelm me, I literally was expecting him to sparkle at one point.
Come on.
No, come on. There, at a certain point in this movie, you have to admit, it got tiring.
Yeah, but I never made the connection with Twilight.
Well, I can't stand Twilight.
Wow.
But, I mean, it just got to a point where it's enough. You're a grown man running a multi-billion-dollar business.
He couldn't care less for.
But the thing is, every Batman that we have ever seen, even if they couldn't stand their day job of running the business and wanted nothing to do with it, they still understood they needed it as a cover. Mm-hmm. And if this is supposed to be the Batman before that point, okay, great. Doesn't fit the actor. In my opinion, it doesn't fit because I see him with the chiseled jaw and the muscles and the filling out of the costume that he's been doing this for a while. That he's been around. He's not just a fly-by-night.
He's been around for about 2 years at least, according to the
long narration that told us instead of showing. Yes, but the point is, it's not presented that way. Is he the innocent guy, the guy coming into this that is realizing what he needs to do? Or is this a guy who's well established? It's not clear. And if you are saving people left and right and all of a sudden you think giving them hope means just carrying them out of the water, are you kidding me? People know who you are. They don't really show me enough of where people are afraid of him. And I'm sorry, but if I have gangsters that are trying to kill everybody and I'm stuck in the middle of like a museum or something and people burst in and try to shoot everybody and Batman comes and saves the day, I'm not going to be afraid of Batman. Ain't going to approach him because, he might have some anger issues. But I'm going to be thankful that Batman was there. You're giving me hope that at least you can help me. So to say at the end that I realize I need to be hope because a criminal says I'm vengeance and you're trying to bookend it and make it all like, look how great we are. No, it's drivel. Maybe he needed to realize
and that's
that
what
he was
say.
their hope, but then say the people look to him as hope. Have a child come up to him when he's helping them out. Have a child hold him and have a long shot between the child and him. That would have worked.
Well, I think he was carrying a child at the end.
That scene was all I needed.
Yeah.
Because Batman was now in the light, not in the shadows. And he was saying, I didn't need the long drawn out, I can't be vengeance. I need to be more. No, you were more. The fact that the light came up and he started the movie and said, I'm in the shadows. And now all of a sudden he's in the light. That was all you needed. All you needed.
What's interesting to me, to segue a little bit away from this, but it's kind of related to it. I found that, and maybe it's because he was in the Batman suit more so than he was Bruce Wayne, but he was not talking at all as Bruce Wayne. And he
didn't talk that much at all, really.
No, and that was the thing that was just it was bugging me, right?
Because that Bruce Wayne / Batman didn't have much dialogue throughout the whole film, or that he spoke mostly as Batman, not Bruce Wayne?
He spoke mostly as Batman rather than Bruce Wayne, because to me, the way I see Bruce Wayne is the debonair playboy, right? He's charming. He talks to people. Batman is the more, I'm not going to talk. I'm just going to do. And it was just, Batman was talking all the time.
I didn't notice that, but I can see that because, again, if you're trying to develop yourself as this is the beginning Batman, would he feel 100% comfortable? I mean, again, maybe they wanted to say that he feels more comfortable in the Batman skin than he does in his own as Bruce Wayne.
Maybe because he has that mask on. Yeah.
But it's not clear what they were going for.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but after hearing so many Batmans and going through them, Christian Bale is an amazing Batman.
You think so?
I liked his voice as Batman. I didn't really like him as Bruce Wayne. I liked him as Batman. Michael Keaton, to me, was a fun Batman.
Yes, he was.
In both roles.
Yes. But he was also the first, right?
Yeah.
So, I love George Clooney as Bruce Wayne because he was that.
Yeah.
But I don't
know how I feel about him as Batman.
Right. So,
Michael Keaton, to me, was the first one that sort of embodied both. And when I unfortunately, because I know those are campy, they were not meant as seriously as they're trying to do now, but I do look back at someone who can balance both. And I can't say that Pattinson can't do it because we haven't seen him in an avenue or a film that's set up for both.
Yeah. But maybe you said that they greenlit the sequel, right? Yeah. So maybe it will...
Maybe they'll show some type of balance, but I'm telling you right now, if it's 3+ hours, I can't do it. And again, you and I have had this conversation. If part 1 makes us so uncomfortable that we're literally looking at the time where we'd rather be, you know what? I'd rather be going to a doctor, and I hate doctors, than sitting through another 3-hour Batman if it's like that.
Well, there's always hope.
Again, it's my opinion. It's a lot of people loved this.
What's funny is that your brother actually saw this in the theater, and I remember him raving about it.
Yeah, he said it was the best Batman he'd ever seen.
Yeah. So,
and again, after the third in the Nolan trilogy, I can understand why. The third film was really not good. So I get it. I just...
Well,
I'm so sorry. That's all I got.
So I guess we can then, with that, go to the cute. Although I really have no cute.
It was a dark, brooding movie. There was no cute.
Unless you think about the Penguin as being
Colin Farrell.
And not recognizing it, but
that's just good makeup. I mean, is that cute?
No, it's not cute. That's why I said, I didn't even know who the actor was.
I mean, I liked the one-line zingers from Catwoman to Batman. Those were good. I don't know if they're cute. Yeah, I can't find any cute.
Okay. All right, so I guess that's our discussion of the Batman.
Yeah.
Okay, so now it is time for our Forever Fangirls rating.
Listen, y'all.
Yeah, listen, y'all. Okay, we rate The Batman 2 stars. And we agree on this rating.
Yeah, I mean, look, I know people are going to disagree with us. And I know a lot of people have absolutely loved this movie. And we would love to hear from you in regards to why you like it. In my humble opinion, it's just, it misses the mark. I understand Batman is broody and dark and, you know, a vigilante, if not an anti-hero, if you want to call him that. But this long, drawn-out, overwhelmingly broody, it just felt like it missed the balance of Bruce Wayne and the Dark Knight that always made the story rich. The struggle to accept his place in the world on the business side and the struggle on the other side, which is why the villains could pick him apart. They padded the runtime trying to add Catwoman, and I've said it before and I will say it again. If you cannot do Catwoman and other strong female characters correctly, please just stop. Dark Phoenix, Catwoman, Wonder Woman, every single time I've seen an amazing female character film, they seem to drop the ball. So can we just stop? If you can't do it, just stop. And one simple final point. At the end of the day, if you're gonna do a beginning, then make it a true beginning. Don't give me someone who physically embodies Batman, who makes me feel that he's further along in the story, and then tell me he's not. Your visuals and your storyline, in my humble opinion, didn't match.
Yeah. And, you know, the movie could have been tighter, no question. You know, and as we've been saying, there could have been more character development between Batman and Catwoman because, you know, that is really the essence of a good story, right? It's about the relationships. And it just didn't feel like there was enough chemistry there for them. And for me, really personally, it seemed like all the best parts of the film were in the trailer.
Right.
So, you know, it's very disappointing that the trailer showed such promise and we just didn't quite get it.
But that is going to do it. I know this month has been interesting in regards to our reviews between Killing Eve and the Batman. But we do love hearing from you, and we would love to hear what you thought. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, what we missed, things like that. You can leave us a message at speakpipe.com/Forever Fangirls podcast. You can leave us messages on our socials at Forever Fan Pod, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And as always, if you're listening to this podcast on your smartphone, please hit the subscribe button, and it'll let you know when we publish new ones, which are bi-weekly.
And so until next time, stay safe, be kind, and remember, longer isn't always better. Expressing something succinctly in most cases has a more powerful impact than long, meandering expositions that add nothing to the story. In short, keep it simple.